Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, February 22nd. So we do have the moon in Leo energy all day, so we're definitely all up in our heart space. We have a boldness, a bravery, a courage to really want to express ourselves through words, through art, through creative expression of some sort. We definitely want to bring new things to life, and the spark, the fire, the flame from this Leo energy is definitely helping us to cultivate the energy required in order to see things through. We will see the moon go void, of course, at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be locking into Virgo energy Friday, 23rd, 8:38 p.m. So that is a huge window in which the moon will be void. And of course, once we shift into that Virgo energy, we are anticipating the full moon in Virgo taking place on the 24th. So that is going to be a very interesting time for us, but for the majority of the day here today, the moon will be very stable in this Leo energy, making us bold and brave and courageous to do all of the things that need to be done in our inner realm in order to align and orient to the path that we now need to get a walk in. So this is a portal day. You don't hear me talk about that very often because most portal days are non-portals. This is a very high energy day for a couple of reasons. First of all, the numerology is backed by some of the elemental energy codes that we've had in previous moons up until this particular time, especially dating back to the full moon in Leo that we had not too long ago. And of course, that new moon in Capricorn, the 222 was just coded everywhere. And here we are, 222. What do we got going on here today? Well, first of all, we have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, and Mars, the masculine energy, of course, ruling over our physical energy, our actions, our passions, our desires. They're coming together. They're conjuncting. They're closing the door on their last 2-year cycle. They're opening up a new door to a new 2-year cycle, which, of course, is going to get us all revved up in all of the right ways. We want more for ourselves, especially where relationship dynamics are concerned, where money matters are concerned. We are resetting the scales, so to speak, in our own personal energy, which of course is going to overflow and impact the relationship dynamics, the circumstances that we got going on in our exterior realms. Venus and Mars coming together for this conjunction in Aquarius energy is about vision. The vision that we have, the goals that we have, the dreams that we have, the hopes, the wishes that we have for better relationship dynamics, for more stable current circumstances in our physical realm, for the improvement overall in our finances, which of course just contribute to the overall safety, security, and stability that we're trying to work towards. The fact that the moon is in Leo is a very interesting dynamic where heart and soul aligned. Venus, of course, went retrograde in this Leo energy back in July and August of 2023, and Mars will be going retrograde in this Leo energy towards the end of this year and carrying us into 2025. A lot going on. This is also the last day that Mercury will be in Aquarius energy. We have the ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information communication, how it is that we express ourselves, shifting into Pisces energy here on the 23rd, just a couple of hours before we have that full moon in Virgo. So there's definitely a lot going on. This is a very dynamic week in the cosmos, setting the tone for the karmic chapters that we are going to be diving into and really kind of watching play out. Once we hit this new astrological calendar, we dive directly into eclipse season. And of course, we reach a merging point of timelines, of soul contracts. We're definitely going to be seeing things accelerate from here on in. So with all of that being said, there are 8 different aspects taking place here today. 6 of them involve the moon. Before we jump into any moon aspects, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves in the final degrees of this Aquarius energy. Again, we're the highest form of our intellect, the lower form of our intellect, working together to piece things together, to gain bigger, broader perspectives of the vision, the goal, the hopes, the wishes, the dreams, in which we want to start actively working towards. Mercury is going to make a positive interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. And this Taurus energy, a fixed earth sign, really having this low, slow approach to where it is that we want to create something new, where it is that we can create new opportunities for ourselves, especially ushering abundance of happiness, of joy, of safety, security, stability into our lives. So Mercury kind of interacting with Jupiter is a very, very good energy for us. First of all, there's a positive outlook, an optimistic outlook of our futuristic visions that we are now able to align with. We have some positive inner dialogue, some positive narratives opening up for us, really encouraging us to do what it is that we have to do to start kind of planning, strategizing towards this new path, vision, goal, and dream. This is also a big illumination of a totally different perspective, totally different vision, totally different dream that we may not have even considered as of yet. Overall, this is a magnification of a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, a lot of perception, a lot of understanding, a lot of perspective that we now have to process ourselves through. 2:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, comes together, joins in a lover's kiss, a lover's embrace with Mars, the masculine energy of the cosmos. This is the conjunction that we've been waiting for. This officially closes the door on the last 2-year chapter of our passions, of our dreams, of our desires, where relationship dynamics, where creative projects, where money matters are concerned. And of course, now we are in a renewal stage where we are opening the door up to establishing what it is that we actually want, need, and desire for ourselves in our physical realm, where relationship dynamics are concerned, where money matters are concerned, with overall where it is that we could be doing life better. That Aquarius energy that they're conjuncting in, of course, is about improvement, about really kind of pushing the boundaries of our comfort zone, understanding, visionarily speaking, what it is that we have done in the past due to egoic programming and conditioning that now we have an awareness of, that now we can do better with. And again, this is ushering in the right kinds of people to now be kind of ushered into our realm in order for us to be a vibratory match for the opportunities that now are going to await us, that we're going to start pushing towards now that we are in this brand new chapter. The moon in this Leo energy going to make a tough interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, system, foundation, structures. In this Pisces energy, this doesn't feel good. Why? Well, because we're having a little bit of a reality check. We've lived in La La Land. We've been thinking of the vision, the hopes, the dreams, the wishes that we now want to conjure up. There is this initiation that we really want to jump into. We want to start making moves. We want to start putting things together. We do have a lot of impulse really rising to the surface, new passions, new desires that, technically speaking, we don't have a solid plan, a solid structure, a solid foundation built as of yet in order to build some of these aspects, dreams, hopes, wishes upon. And so this is a little bit of a reality check, like, I can't do what I want right now. I can't pursue that path. I can't make a move on that particular energy or passion, desire, whatever the case may be. And so that puts us a little bit all in our feels in a not so nice place, again, where the reality check hits. And this is kind of pushing us to get real. What do we have to do, logically, practically speaking, to create a foundation, a structure in our lives that can actually house this path, this plan, this strategy? Because Saturn is trying to wrap up a 30-year cycle here in this Pisces energy. The Pisces energy is about deconstructing our physical realms, understanding that our wants, needs, and desires that we're currently in awareness of at this particular moment don't really have a space to be built, because we're holding on to a lot of attachments to the past, a lot of the elements from the past still very much alive and well in our physical realms. And so the friction here is illuminating to us what it is that we have to kind of clean up before we have the opportunity to start building towards these new wants, needs, and desires that, again, we have an overwhelming impulse in us right now that we want to take action upon. Things don't get much better because the moon in Leo going to then get into the boxing ring, square off, fight it out with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion. And when we're in a conflict with Jupiter, we're not seeing the growth. We're not seeing the opportunity to kind of evolve. We're not optimistic. We're not confident at all. This is a little bit of a Debbie Downer type of situation. Again, we're in Pisces season, so the whiningness, the complaining, the woe poor is me, the victimhood mentality coming out with all its gut at this particular want fest, because we are kind of blocked. Again, we want to take action, we want to make moves, we're not able to do that. So what do? Instead, we sit around, we cry, and we complain about it instead of actually addressing the particular concerns in our physical realm that need to be wrapped up, cleaned up, put in the past where it belongs in order for us to actually move on. So this is going to magnify our emotional realm, which at this particular point doesn't feel so good. And it is in this awareness of what it is that we want to do, that we feel like we can't do, that is actually going to help us cultivate the energy needed in order to see things through. The moon is then going to make an awkward interaction with Neptune in his place of power in this Pisces energy. Again, not a favorable type of interaction. We are feeling the disconnect between what it is that our physical body wants versus what our higher selves want, our soul and our spirit wants. Our soul and our spirit, again, in this Pisces energy, knows that we have to surrender. We have to go with the flow. We have to wrap up the old before we can jump into the new. But the moon being in this Leo energy doesn't seem to understand that. We just want to go and push forward. We want to take action. We want to do what we want to do. And because we're kind of hyped up, very passionate about wanting to move forward and not being able to do so, again, we kind of get wah, we move within ourselves. We're a little bit, a little bit whiny, a little bit cryy, if you will. We don't want to deal with reality. If we can't do what we want to do in our physical realms, then we don't want to do anything at all. We just want to curl up in a ball and kind of cry it out. So that is definitely not a good vibe. However, the moon is going to trine the North Node, and this is going to bode very well. Now, keep in mind, there's almost a 12-hour gap between the not so nice aspects making us kind of whiny and cryy and all up in our feels versus this aspect that is going to bring us out of that funk. Now, the moon being in this Leo energy, trining, beautiful interaction, harmonizing with the North Node in Aries energy. It's fire on fire action. What does fire do? First of all, dries up all the whininess, the cryingness, if you will. We are oversaturated in emotion earlier on in the day, and the fire energy definitely going to burn off some of that funky, heavy emotion and put us in a state where we are kind of fanning the flame, so to speak, on what it is that we're actually excited about. That North Node in Aries trying to get us on the right path in order for us to be more independent, for us to kind of double down, bet on ourselves, put our own wants, needs, and desires ahead of everybody else's. We're seeing the growth. We're seeing the ability to move forward. We're seeing the ability to heal. However, we're not able to take action in our external realm. We're in Pisces season. This isn't about doing, it's about feeling. So now we kind of get a grip. We understand now, later on in the day, that these impulses that we have to take action and make moves, we're just going to have to squash them. We're going to have to, regenerate them in a better way. And with these particular aspects, we're understanding now that it's about the inner realm of the fire, the spark, the flames that we're looking to cultivate. Instead of actually exerting ourselves out in the world, we need to be building ourselves up in our inner realm to sustain the type of challenge and obstacles that we know that we're going to face when we're gifted with the green light go ahead and actually get to move forward. So that means that the moon in Leo is then going to trine Chiron, the wounded healer, in this Aries energy. The North Node, Chiron, of course, very close together in this Aries energy. They just had their conjunction here on the 19th, still very much within orb, carrying us into the new astrological calendar that we are prepared to jump into late March when Aries season in the equinox energy pops off. So again, fire on fire action. We love this. This is regenerative. This is creative. This is exciting. This is passionate. Chiron, of course, the wounded healer, being aspected in a positive way, is going to illuminate the healing, more so illuminate the wounds. And so we are in a good state right now where we're seeing things from a different set of eyes. We understand the strength that we now have the ability to build in our inner realm. The creative aspect, the passion, the desire, if you will. We are seeing that we have to just reframe ourselves in this current circumstance in order to understand that we're not blocked, we're not challenged, we're not being held back and restricted. We are patiently awaiting the recalibration, the realignment to be fully completed so that we can move forward operating in our complete power, in our complete wholeness. So that is a major change in mood and attitude. Now, the last thing that we have going on here today doesn't feel so good again. However, it is much needed. The moon in Leo going to get in the boxing ring, fight it out with Uranus, the great awakener, in this Taurus energy. Now, this doesn't feel good because, of course, a square never does. It highlights tension, highlights conflict. If this was a positive interaction, we would be gaining some sort of insight, clarity, aha moment, some sort of, I'm going to say, shocking revelation that we can't unknow that's going to change the course of the matter. But this is a not so nice aspect, which means that we are confused. We are not gaining that insight. We are kind of hooked up, if you will, on the problems, on all the things that aren't working, all the things that are wrong, instead of focusing on the things that are working and kind of going well. The Uranian energy being in that Taurus energy, again, a fixed earth sign, we do have a lot of resistance to change. We are holding on to fear, especially when it comes to making any major changes in our physical realm. But emotionally speaking, our soul and our spirit, that moon in Leo, knows that we got to be bold and brave and courageous to do all the hard things, to do the things that we are in fear of, knowing that it is going to create a different result for us. And in this instant, clear the path away from what it is that we've been focused on clearing as far as the past goes. Again, we're in Pisces season, so there's a lot of wrapping up that needs to be done in order for us to have a clean slate, a clear space for us to be building towards something new. But this particular interaction is going to illuminate where it is that we're frustrated, where it is that we feel stuck, where it is that we don't see the opportunity for growth, for change, where it is that we are sitting in fear. And that gives us a beautiful opportunity to flip the script. It is at this point in time that the moon in Leo is going to go void, of course. And again, we're not locking into that Virgo energy until late Friday evening, making a very difficult day on Friday to not only sit in the moon being void, of course, kind of shaking things up in our emotional realm, but of course, we also have Mercury doing a deep dive in that Piscean energy, which is going to be a major shift and somewhat of a challenge for our mental plane, for our energy. So we definitely have a very interesting day ahead of us, but wrapping up Thursday, kind of, getting that Venus and Mars conjunction under our belt is definitely putting us in a totally different perspective to take a good look at what it is that we are putting in the past, putting behind us, and what it is now that we want to be building and creating as we move forward.